Well, good morning and welcome to the Bold Vision podcast. In this edition of the Military Construction Safety Mindset Minute. With me today is my partner, Scott Wuestner, the owner of Centurion Construction Management Solutions. So welcome again, Scott. I'm so glad to have you. How are you today?
Great, Sonia. Harry, it's great to be here.
Awesome. Well, we're just going to, pick up where we left off last time. And today, we're going to be talking about information management and documentation. So let's just jump right into it. How do you want to talk about the struggle with the documentation in management? You know that most construction companies really do struggle with that.
Well, you're absolutely right, Sonia. Documentation and information management are vital in both military and military operations and construction. In both cases, it's really overwhelming to basically track, collect, analyze, and then take action on that info you collect. And most safety officers are spending 90% of their time collecting versus being a safety officer. And I kind of go back to my time in Iraq, where at any one time we had 5 to 6 combat operations going on at one time, and that was for my battalion. And we planned on paper, but we had to collect information in our intel system, our operational systems, as well as manually in the TOC and at Tactical Operations Center. So it got very, very overwhelming at times. So we did have a formal process, or what we call battle rhythm, for collecting this information. And in the civilian world, it's called a business rhythm. But in order to execute this process, I had 8 to 10 full-time staff pulling all the data together from each system and then doing the analysis. And that's what we see today in most construction companies as well. Then we had to conduct weekly synchronization meetings to integrate all that information and make decisions on our current operations and then what we were going to do in the future in our future fight. In the end, it was just an incredibly manpower process, intensive process. And I wish we had Smartsheet while I was in combat. I truly do. It's the #1 rated collaborative work management tool in the United States. And really, combat is collaborative work as well as construction for sure.
Yeah, well, I just can't imagine the complexity you had to deal with, and the decisions you made were, life and death for sure. So I know I appreciate your service, and thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, there were some things, while we were in combat that we didn't have perfect intelligence on, and when the enemy was going to do or what they were going to do and how they were going to react, right? And I would say, construction is very similar. Every day you go on a job site, you don't know exactly how the day is going to go, particularly from a safety perspective. So, companies right now have various systems. They have project management software. They have multiple different safety apps. They have manual methods of collecting information. And this becomes overwhelming because now you have to take all this information and pull it together and synthesize it. So, and with that too, even the top safety apps, they're still using file folders to collect and store information. And if the goal for safety professionals are really to be, focus on safety, versus to tracking, collecting, analyzing, and figuring out, trying to pull all this information together with limited teams over multiple states, over, 20, 50 projects, it becomes absolutely overwhelming in a point where, they fail more often than not. So our real difference in everything that we do right now is that we have everything in safety armor is in one system. It is a system of systems and tracks actions across each safety function. For example, one of our big difference is that we document and have over 60 forms in the system, and those forms push information into a fillable PDF for each action. So these PDFs, instead of being stored in a specific folder, they are stored on a single line in safety armor associated with that specific task or action that was conducted. So, for example, we have a system, systems such as training, accidents, incidents, OSHA reporting, process vehicle and equipment inspections, observations, all those different areas. 15 systems in all interconnected and all tied together, so that all that information is easily available and easily actionable. And again, we are storing that information not in folders, but by project site and each one of those modules. So, what does that look like? When you have a project and you're looking at it in current, state, you can go to the dashboard, you can look at all the information, you can go to the individual report that's created and go to a specific line and find all the documents with that one action on that one line. And then what really makes it convenient for folks, because we want to go backwards and look for information as well, when that project is archived, you can open and access the entire project with the associated dashboards, reports, and all that information, all that documentation, just as you did on the active level project. So you have the same user experience whether the project is active or whether it's not active. And we think that is critical as we go forward. So again, it makes it easy for folks to track information and find documents quickly and easily. And again, we believe at the end of the day, when you have the ability to automatically track, collect, and analyze the documents, you as a user only have to worry about what action you're going to have to take instead of doing all four of those. So again, being able to track, collect, and analyze in one system that's doing it for you, then you need to just take action in the end. And this enables companies to do more with less. And we're very excited about that capability.
Yeah, I know you've spent a lot of time on this, and we all want to do more with less, and be efficient. So, Scott, again, thank you for the insight. Tell everybody where these companies, if anybody's watching, where can they find you, and how do they get a hold of you?
Yes, folks could reach out to us at our website, CenturionCMS.com. That's CenturionCMS.com. And then just hit book a demo tab and put your company information there, and we'll get notified and we'll get right back to you ASAP.
Well, awesome. That was great. And until next time, folks, thanks for joining us for our Construction Safety Mindset Minute. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.